Tech Lagos seeks sales and marketing managers ages 23 to 40 years old, plus 2 years experience in retail sales or marketing, strong communication skills and resilience. Self-starter, Lagos residents preferred. Owning a car is a plus. Monthly payment of 225,000 naira. Welcome in 2000.
Are you curious about what's happening in the world of politics beyond your borders? Tune into Global Review as we bring you the latest political stories from across the globe.
Many Palestinians, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, are forced off their land by that conflict. So one starting fact is 5.9 million Palestinians are refugees.
But what we don't realize is that what's happening in the Congo is happening in your backyard as well. 6 million people, over 6 million people have died in the Congo because it's the same conflict, right? In the DRC, we have militia groups, we have laboratories, but why are they fighting? Why people die is to get control of our resources.
Join me, Okon, as we dive deep into the most pressing issues, uncovering the truth and analyzing the impact on a global scale. From the corridors of power in Washington to the bustling streets of Accra, we've got you covered. We'll take you on a journey through different political systems, exploring the challenges and triumphs of the nations near and far. Hear from world leaders, experts, newsmakers, and everyday citizens as they share their perspective, providing a comprehensive overview of the political landscape. Tune in every Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m. on Hard Facts to be a part of the global conversation on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome. It's Global Review, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. we get to talk about anything else other than Nigeria's politics. And we go into geopolitics and sometimes regional politics. And when we talk about the region, we're talking about the African region. And today, we're looking at what's been happening between Nigeria and Niger. Now, Nigeria, we hear, as a fallout of the first, before Nigeria even started talking about it, the Nigerian authorities were accusing Nigeria of having a hand in the terrorism activities that have been bedeviling some parts of their country, especially the parts that border around the Nigerian side of the divide. Well, based on these allegations, Nigeria has extended an olive branch to Niger, calling for discussions on issues of mutual interest. Nigeria has expressed its respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of its neighbor, Niger, inviting the Nigerian authority to a discussion on issues of mutual interest. The Nigerian government statement followed a recent allegation by Abdurrahman Chiani-led administration that it was involved in the terrorist attacks by a group called Lakwa. We all know the Lakwa, group. I remember sometime in November I had, Kabir Adamu, the security expert, who gave us some very damning figures about the number that have been killed or, captured by these terrorists. And the Lakwa group, he talks about the fact that they had been available. In fact, they have been in circulation. It's just that they're just gaining some sort of momentum that they're not necessarily new per se. But now obviously they have gone beyond Nigeria into the fringes around Niger, which caused the Nigerian authority to point fingers to us. Now, there has been tension in the relations of the two countries, that's Niger and Nigeria, stemming from the military coup in Niger in 2023, which also severed ties with the ECOWAS, which is our original bloc. Now, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, serving as ECOWAS chair with some other presidents of West African countries, had initially considered a regional military intervention to restore the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. This led two other countries, Mali and Burkina Faso, to denounce alongside Niger membership of ECOWAS and forming an alliance of the Sahel states. In August this year, there seems to be a reinvigoration of sorts in the relations of the two countries when Abuja and Niamey resumed security cooperation. But this seems to have been lost with the new twist, as Niger accused us of destabilization of her country, with the Foreign Affairs Minister of Niger summoning Nigerians charged the affairs a few days ago. Now, the cordial relationship could be re-established should the Nigerian government accept the the Nigerian government, I beg your pardon, accept the olive branch extended by Nigeria through its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga. Here's a statement by Tuga, which he issued yesterday on Tuesday, addressing Niger's concern. I'll read it to your hearing. The Federal Republic of Nigeria reaffirms its unwavering commitment to peace, stability, and regional harmony in West Africa, and is concerned about recent statements from President of the National Council for the Safeguarding of Homeland of Niger, Abdurrahman Tiani, or Chiani, I beg your pardon. These names are tricky. Tiani. Nigeria remains steadfast in its desire and dialogue, which are the cornerstone of sustainable solutions. Therefore, we will not embark on any actions to undermine sovereignty and security of Niger. As brothers and neighbors, Nigeria and Niger share deep historical cultural ties underscored by trade and economic interdependence. These endearing connections are reminders of our intrinsic linked destinies. Therefore, unfounded allegations causes needless tensions and could cause disaffection and threaten the collective progress of our region. To this end, we reaffirm our respect for Niger's sovereignty and territorial integrity to align with ECOWAS principles. We welcome and encourage open, constructive dialogue between our government and invite Niger's leadership to join us in candid discussions to address mutual concerns. We're prepared to explore confidence-building measures such as a collective support to elevate the humanitarian impact on our border communities. We call upon regional and international partners to support efforts aimed at fostering reconciliation and stability rather than deepening divisions. He goes on to say, Nigeria remains guided by the principles of diplomacy, mutual respect, and pursuit of peace. We are confident that through constructive engagement, we can work together towards a more prosperous and stable future for our people. End of quote. And that is Mr. Yusuf Tuga's message to Niger. So this is Nigeria's way of extending an olive branch to Niger and asking that there be conversations. Now, my guest is yet to join me. Once he does, he'll tell us what he thinks about this situation. I know some of you have already jumped the gun to start commenting on the issue as to what's going to happen with this Nigeria issue. And you see, our names are so similar. You know, Niger and Nigeria, both from the Niger area. And we also have seen what has happened, with Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso when they decided that they were not going to be part of ECOWAS. At first, ECOWAS wanted to take, tough stands, but then they realized that the more they did that, the more they pushed people away, or these people away anyway. They have obviously left. They've been given till, I think, June or July this year to reconsider their move, but they have already decided that they're going to form a coalition of sorts to see how they can foster some sort of unity around the Sahel. But there are those who have also queried the position that they've taken as opposed to supporting, or rather, I think the word is, because I think that's what my guest said yesterday, instead of saying, okay, let's see how we can partner with you, France, but you can't rule over us anymore. So we can see how we can have some trade relations and some partnerships, but you cannot tell us what to do anymore in our country, as opposed to saying we're shutting you out completely. We don't want to have anything to do with you. And then we're going to open our doors to Russia or whatever other countries are interested. And many people are forcing that and saying that's a mistake. But my guest is going to, who is obviously very well vested in geopolitics, is going to join us soon. Katch and Onunuju, to explain to us what this means. But for those of you who are listening and are interested in geopolitics, with the olive branch that Nigeria has extended to Niger and asking for some sort of dialogue, which would help them to get a clearer message as to what's happening within these border communities, as opposed to just saying, it's your fault, Nigeria. You have imported your terrorists into our country, and now look at where we are. Will this olive branch and conversation and dialogue help in joint forces to help fight this insecurity? Because 1 minute we're looking at Boko Haram on the one hand, and then we have bandits, and now it's Lakra. It looks like Nigeria is not even able to catch a break in terms of insecurity. But now that Niger is in the picture, are there better ways that we can deal with this issue so that it does not escalate? Instead, we need, I'm guessing, better ways of de-escalating the issue. But we'd like to hear from you while we wait for our guest to join. I think he's trying to look for a place that's very quiet so he can join on Zoom. I think he's in the FCT, so he's looking for a quiet place to join us. In the meantime, the phone lines are open. Let's discuss. 0201-277-0993. Nigeria debacle because of Lakra. In fact, they have said these terrorists hitting some parts of their communities, Nigeria is to blame. But do you see Niger coming to the table? And if they do come to the table, what should be prioritized in terms of fighting this deadly hydra-headed monster of terrorism? 0201-277-0993. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Maria.
Good evening.
Yes, this is Chike calling from Papa.
Hi, Chike. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I just want to advise the Nigerian leaders that if you sell dog and buy cat, you still have an animal of the same caliber in your house. So I don't see anything different from France, Russia. Every country is in competition, and everybody is after his own interest.
They've got interest,
so
and that's constant in politics.
Yeah, so they should focus on themselves and know where the problem lies and solve it by themselves. Nobody will help them solve their problem.
But they share a border with us, and whatever affects them in turn affects us, and what affects us in turn affects them.
Yeah, but I don't think going to collide with Russia is a good idea. Why don't they, focus on their problem and leave Western countries alone?
What's wrong with their collaboration with Russia?
What are they going to benefit? What is it that Russia want to offer to them? And what are the Russians?
I wish I were in the room when they're having this conversation so I could answer this question, but I don't have the answer to it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Hello, welcome to Global Review. Hello. All right, call me back. Your line is dodgy. Hello.
William, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Robert.
Robert, go ahead, please.
I want to ask you, maybe I did not hear you clearly. Did you say, does it mean that Nigeria government want to dialogue with Niger Republic?
Well, that's what Mr. Yusuf Tuga has said in his message to Niger, that they should come to the table and have a conversation and see how they can solve the issue to de-escalate the crisis at the border.
But the other time when Niger pursued these France people out of their country, that they are good or something like that. Or I think something happened. I've forgotten. Nigeria and other Africa forces wanted to fight Niger now. I don't know if I'm right.
Sorry, say that again. Say that again.
I said the other time we were mobilizing to wage war against Niger and other because they took over. Military took over from the constituted elected president of the something like that.
Well, yes, it's under military rule right now.
So since the government of Niger is illegal, government assumed by us. Why would you call them illegal? Why would you? It's like saying when Babangida was our president or when Abacha was our president, you consider it an illegal government. You know the way we reason, we in Nigeria. I don't know, maybe other countries. We always say that the worst civilian government is better than the.
Does Niger have a leadership? Yes. Whether you're not Nigerian, are you Nigerian? So why would what makes you think that you're an authority to tell them if their leadership is legal or not?
Nigeria.
Speak for yourself. You're one person. Don't say we Nigeria. No, Robert.
Oh, Miriam.
You are one person. Speak for yourself. Don't speak and say we Nigerians. Speak for yourself. Say this is what I think.
But all I know
as
is
Robert.
That when the military took over in Niger, Nigeria was among the countries that were mobilizing to remove the military government. Am I right?
Not just Nigeria. ECOWAS was trying to see if they could bring Bazoum back, but then of course they realized that it was not their place to do so.
Are we not the head of ECOWAS? So why the meeting? I don't understand. When they should go ahead and do their meeting anyway.
Thank you very much. Again, Mr. Tuga has said that, look, we believe in diplomacy. We do not believe in, doing things disorderly. We're going by the rules of ECOWAS and, of course, the rules of diplomacy. And so the most important thing at the moment is dialogue. So when you say, why are they talking to an illegal government? Who told you that they're illegal? Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Evening, Marianne.
Good evening.
You have your man on the line speaking to you from a place. The dialogue call came late, but better late than never. This is the line we should have done in the early days, trying to permit my word romance with them, rather than going into that route we wanted to take, talking about military grandstanding and so on. Because you can't, how would you justify, that they have their resources, the uranium, that they sold it to this Western country, under their civilian administration in a very, very ridiculous price. Was it $2 what they were supposed to be selling $12 or so? I can't really remember. A lot of things will make the people support the military then, And then if we went into that country and then Niger, is in chaos today the way Libya is, the Nigerian generation to come will never ever forgive Nigeria, for what would have happened. So I am thankful.
How but anyway, I mean this is something that is debatable because
it's debatable.
Nigerians have chosen. Did you see how they were rejoicing when the military took over?
That is what I'm telling you.
They made their bed, so they're lying on it.
That is what I'm saying. That if we have gone into that country with our military, and then we something bad happen, that Niger is like in chaos today. Mm-hmm. The future generation of Nigerians would never ever forgive Nigeria.
Okay.
For what Nigeria did.
All right.
Now going forward, I would advocate for a joint kind of a thinkers club, should I say, institute of thinkers. Who will say, if we do this and do this and do this in the next 10, 20 years, this is where our region will be.
Okay.
You understand? It's not about this military fighting, killing, whatever. If we take this step and we take this step, this infrastructure, this education, this thing, in the next 20 years, we'll probably eradicate this terrorism, or we'll get to this point.
All right.
That's my advice for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Well, my guest has just joined us. Katch Onunuju is the director of the Heritage Center, and he joins us now. He's nicely looking suit and red tie. Doctor, it's so good to have you join us. Thank you so much. You're the Director General of the Heritage Center, and we've had you on this show many times. My audience is really debating whether Nigeria and Niger should even be having any dialogue, because Nigeria definitely isn't responsible for Lakura and the activities. Yes, they might be a homegrown terrorist group per se, but they're not responsible. Or really, let me put the question to you, are we responsible for the hit? I have just 1 minute before we go on our first break. Go ahead, Doctor.
Thank you for having me. What I would say is that we should not be fighting the Hausas. Niger Republic is a majority Hausa state. It is 54% Hausa. It is 5.5% Kanuri, 6% Fulani. It's 11% Tuareg, Buhari's people, Tuareg. So I don't think it's ours to go in there, because this is a fight for freedom. 400 years of European subjugation. The Hausas have suffered in both Niger, their majority country, and in northern Nigeria. As I speak to you today, apart from the emir of Anka, you will not see any Hausa man that is emir anywhere in Hausa land. So the Hausas are not only subjugated and suppressed in northern Nigeria, they are also subjugated and suppressed in the Niger Republic. So the chance given by Russia, which they seized to run to freedom, should not be undermined by Nigeria or any West African country. We should go back to our days under Murtala Mohammed, where Nigeria was the big brother trying to help all African countries. We cannot be in the forefront of African liberation and suddenly become an ally to an European country who has lost out in its quest to sustain the subjugation of Africa.
We have to go on a quick break, Doctor. When we come back, we'll be right back.
More talk, news, and sports after this. Power where it's needed most with HP Laptop. Powered by 12th generation Intel Core i5 processor. Built to get you close to your goals. Long battery life so you can work long hours without interruption. Plus impressive speed and performance to match your grit and determination. The HP Laptop 14SDQ5005NIA, powered by 12th generation Intel Core i5 processor, is available at DreamWorks stores. Call 0808-553-8331 or visit www.dreamworksdirect.com for more information. HP with Intel, the technology partners of your hustle. Look for Intel.
Stay sharp, fuel up, and be on top of your game. Power Horse is here to boost your energy and conquer the day. Don't miss out on an unstoppable offer for Niger. You can now buy Power Horse 250 ml for just 999 naira. And for those who need a little extra, grab the 355 ml for only 1,299 naira. Don't wait. Head to the nearest store today and fuel up. Power Horse, unstoppable you.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pulp. So many ways to pop it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every gulp, everyone pops it their way. So, how do you pop it?
Step into the light, feel the crowd screaming. See as you bright, oh, there's no comparing. They can't deny you still the show, 'cause you are in control. You're unique on your own.
Each day is a unique opportunity to improve yourself and meet someone new. Make the most of your day. Stay fresh all day with Unique Soap. Unique Prickly Heat Antibacterial Soap is made with a cooling formula that kills germs and is infused with natural ingredients. Unique Soap. Be unique, be you.
Hey, BC! It's school season again, oh. The price hike in the market, eh?
Right? That's why my budget is tight this year.
I'm only here to shop a few things, Jerry. See you later.
It looks like you decided to splurge a little.
See, thanks to Skit, the prices were less than I calculated. Since I had some money left, why not treat myself too?
Wow, same here.
Get your school supplies for less at Skit Store. Visit our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, or shop online at www.skit.ng. For inquiries, please call 0807-728-5058.
Introducing the essence of true authenticity in fragrance, Wazobia Perfume, the correct scent. A unique blend that captivates the authentic spirit of Nigeria, now available in both perfume and body spray variants. Designed for everyone. Yes, Wazobia is a unisex fragrance perfect for both men and women. Its rich and versatile aroma is a statement of inclusivity and unity. Unleash your confidence with each and every spray. way. Are you a retailer or do you love to buy in bulk? We've got you covered across Nigeria. Wazobia perfume comes in cartons of 24 bottles and the body spray is available in cartons of 48 bottles. Interested in making Wazobia perfume a part of your collection or store? For carton purchases, contact us at the email address contact@wazobiacosmetics.ng or call us at 0201 330 0047. That is 0201 330 0047. Our team is ready to assist you with your orders. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent. Your new signature fragrance is just a call or a click away. Authentic, unisex, confidence, Wazobia.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Marian Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, we're back from that break. Dr. Katch Onunuju just dropped off the call. Unfortunately, we've lost that connection with him. Hopefully, we can get him back. It's been a struggle for him to join, and now he's, I guess the connection in Abuja is crazy today, but he will join us again. Well, he's made some very incredible assertions about the ECOWAS not joining issues with the people of Niger, most importantly. And he's given us some incredible statistics also about the people who make up the majority of Nigerians. But the bigger question is Nigeria responsible? Can we be blamed for the activities of the activities of terrorists who majorly might be said or considered as homegrown terrorists? Should we be the ones that should be getting the blame when someone says to us, hey, your people came to attack, they're terrorists? Does that represent Nigeria? And the conversation that we're having, we hope to have, and dialoguing with the people of Niger, should we be apologizing or should we be joining forces to fight this hydra-headed monster? We'd like to hear from you. Join the conversation. Turn off your radio, please. I don't want to be saying that this year.
Hello, Miriam. Happy New Year.
Yes.
You see, actually, the issue here is this. If you say your neighbor's security does not concern you, if your neighbor's house is run over, then the next target will be your house. So that being said, where these terrorists are going up from, really, it's just in a border, in between we and them. And if they are finished with Niger, they don't have another person. We do not come back to Nigeria. Have they not been the ones also terrorizing Nigeria? So both Nigeria and Niger should stand as one body to find a way to eradicate them. If we are saying, okay, your neighbor is having an issue, it's not concerning you. When they are true with your neighbor, won't you be the next target? Just like your guest said, 400 years of European subjugation. Like what the news we have today now, France and this and that, what are we going to get from them? Anybody we are bringing into this country to us will not be a country that we are having something we'll get from them. Not what they are going to get from us, but they will say they want to come and help us. So it should just be, we should go into the dialogue. Fine, it may be late, but let's go to the dialogue and see how it can work out.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling. We have Dr. Katch back with us. I guess that the connection where he is has been very problematic, obviously, which has led to him dropping off. Yes, Doc, now we have you back. The push for a dialogue, Mr. Yusuf Tuga, our foreign affairs minister, has penned a very heartfelt message to the Nigerian authorities saying, let's de-escalate the situation. Let's find ways to deal with this issue. Yes, Lakura might be a homegrown terrorist group, but how do we fight it together as opposed to pointing fingers? Yes, there might be no love lost between Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso with the ECOWAS, but what are the best ways to address this issue? I like where you stopped because you talked about the fact that these people have been under subjugation by European countries for years. And you think this is their only opportunity at freedom. But many frown at the fact that it's Russia that they chose to be some sort of savior or messiah.
Well, you also need to understand this is a historical moment. In 400 years, the Russians are the only powers that have come to say, look, Africans, you have suffered through slavery, you have suffered through colonialism, you're now suffering neocolonialism. If you're ready, I will help give you the backing. And whether you like it or not, this is a new African front. And this is what you call the Ukrainian War 2.0. So this is actually France getting angry at the Russian action of coming to Africa and calibrating its colonies into resisting them, the French. For me, it is a march and a run towards freedom. For us, there are no two ways. We must return back into our Pan-Africanist ways. We return back into the ways of Murtala Muhammad. We must return back into that which made us to spend our money, to spend our energies, to spend our security to protect South Africa, to protect Sierra Leone, to protect Senegal, to protect African countries that were challenged. I understand. We have become friends with France through the machinations of Mr. Gilbert Shaguri, but that's not the way to go. I think the president is doing it wrong. You do not put the whole future of a country like Nigeria in the hands of friendship. No, there are other things that are also linked to this. Today, there is a historical change in the world. There is the BRICS alternative.
Yeah.
That means the coming to the end of the dollar standard, which has been sustained through violence and wars. And you know, dollar standard is not sustainable on the long run. Now that members of the Global South Coalition are beginning to now join Russia, Brazil, India, and China to form BRICS, Nigeria should be right front and center of BRICS. We have nothing to do, nothing to gain, nothing to even think about playing with any European country. France is not our enemy. Whoever kills your brother is your enemy. Whoever undermines the progress of your community, your brother, other villages in your town is not your enemy. The French are not Africa's enemy. This is a golden opportunity by Africans to break free from French subjugation. Nigeria should not be seen. Listen, this is a problem. Even if you do anything with France, don't forget, the people who are still in France are the people who are still dealing with Niger. Niger has enough intelligence to understand whatever is going. Nigeria doesn't even understand these issues. Jumping into a fight that doesn't concern you is foolish. This is not our fight. The fight for freedom is a fight that we must defend the interests of African countries, not align with a European country to sustain the attempt to continue subjugation of Africans, whether it is in Niger,
but the thing is, but ECOWAS obviously has, I guess, must have learned from, the pressure that they tried to put on these countries that it was not going to gain anything from it, and they decided to take, a seat, a back seat on that issue. But the thing is, Nigeria and other African countries will continue to have relations with France. We can't alienate them. Have great relations with trade, investment from the French country.
Is true. That is true. You don't maintain a relationship that is all premised around killing your relations. You don't maintain a relationship where the man he's used for you is for you to pass the poison that will kill your relations, whether you like it or not.
How do you mean?
The Hausas are part of this Nigerian community. Listen, the people of Niger are ours. Niger is 54% Hausa. It is 6% Fulani. It is 5.5% Kanuri. It is 11% Tuareg. We cannot afford to undermine the peaceful yearnings of these African countries towards a liberated situation. This is their war towards liberation. This is their fight towards freedom. We cannot afford to block it.
Okay.
History will never forgive us.
Okay, let's talk about the Lakra situation. Many would say this is a homegrown terrorist group that has gone to strike in Niger, which has led the Nigerian authorities to point fingers at us, saying that we have a hand in the terrorist activities that are happening in their country. Could it be because of the fact that Nigeria is heading ECOWAS? Could it also be that they're saying this because LACOA started in Nigeria and maybe we could not put a handle on it and it's now affecting them? How do we go about solving this issue? Because Yusuf Tugar is asking for the Nigerian authorities to come sit down with us. Let's see how we can find a way to join forces and deal with this terrorism that's bedeviling Niger and, of course, some bordering communities in Nigeria. Isn't that a good way to address this issue? Should they not be considering coming to have a conversation with us? This is not the first time that we've joined forces to fight terrorism, around our border communities. So why is this different?
You're calling names as if these are new things. Lakoroa is nothing new. It's a mutation. It's a new name for an old organization, please. So the fundamentals that have supported terrorism are still the same, okay? So don't change it, please. That the groups have decided to take a new name doesn't mean nothing. The fundamentals are the same. The people who still aided terrorism in the last administration, like President Buhari and those around him, are still Nigerians. Don't pretend as if there's anything new. What we have, you don't forget, I told you previously on this program, that the Fulani war across West Africa finally bettered in Nigeria. I want to sit down and ask, how do we stop this Fulani war across Nigeria, West Africa from undermining Nigeria? Good. And I can tell you straight up, Tinubu has done a lot of good things. He has stopped it. Tinubu came in, and what Buhari couldn't do in 8 years, Tinubu did it in Benue, in Nasarawa. He arrested Abdullahi Bello Bodejo. Nobody, Buhari didn't touch him for 8 years. He was terrorizing Benue State. Who is Bello Bodejo? A man from Niger Republic who naturalized in Bauchi State, later on came into Nasarawa and started training militia to march into the Benue Valley. Why? The Benue Valley has rich grass, rich water sources. As General Danjuma said, wherever you have water and grass, they will come. Tinubu has tried to stop that war by the Fulani militia, but he hasn't finished it. We have not yet brought back the indigenous people displaced from their ancestral land back to their villages and farms. So the war has not ended. If the groups take different names and start doing different maneuvers, nothing has changed. It's the same thing. Lakurua is nothing new. It's an old group. It's a brand new name for the same old terrorists we've had. So don't start playing. And there is no way you can solve the terrorism issue working alone. If you notice, the states where this thing was heavy, Mali, there was war between the Dogons and the Fulani in central Mali. And a lot of those who flowed into Nigeria, we told Buhari, don't Buhari allow them to come in with the guns. What did they do? They started using those guns to start now doing industrial scale ethnic cleansings as a strategy to gain land, to resettle their people displaced from central Mali who seek land in Nigeria. Buhari sought for different acrobatic ways to gain land. Nigerians refused. So those are the reasons for the displacement of Nigerians on industrial scale, which I refer to as ethnic cleansing for ancestral lands. Now, we all know that story. So Tinubu has done well by saying no. And if you look at...
Oh, we have lost a connection again with Dr. Onunuju. In case you're just joining us, this is Global Review. We're talking about Niger and Nigeria crisis, of course, which is being caused by LACRA, the terrorist group, which has hit some of the communities in Niger Republic, causing Niger to call out Nigeria. And of course, I did read out to you a message by Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tugar, calling for a dialogue of sorts between Nigeria and Niger, and for a joint force to fight this insecurity that's bedeviling both Niger and Nigeria. But do we have the capacity to do so? My guest, Dr. Katch, Onunuju, has said that, hey, the president has done a bit while he assumed office to deal with some of these terrorist groups, but it's not enough, he says. But where do we go from here? 0201-277-0993. I'm going to take a few more of your thoughts and comments. Let me read some messages that are coming in on WhatsApp. Unfortunately, my guest's connection is really crazy today, and it's causing him to go on and off the connection. And Dose here says, Marianne, Russia has always been in Africa. Contrary to what your guest is saying, Republic of Benin, Mali, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Algeria, Angola, all were under USSR from the 60s to the 90s. Nigeria is now largest economic partner of I'm sure you mean Niger is Nigeria's largest economic partner of Nigeria in sub-Saharan Africa. What do we get from the Republic of Niger? Okay, I think you didn't read this message before you sent, because you're saying Nigeria is the largest economic partner of Nigeria. What do we need, or what do we get from the Republic of Niger? They are a liability to us when we consider the amount of that we use to build infrastructure such as railways to their country. And say, interesting. This one says that he's trumpeting for Russia. My guest, he says, is not informed. Seriously? How does he know what Russia is? Or does he know what Russia is? The way he's criticizing the decisions of Nigeria's president, if he were in Russia, would he criticize Putin and still be a free man? Okay. This one says, Nigeria is not answerable to any military junta or anywhere else in the world for her actions to promote relationships, which is important. Which important countries and enhance economic interests. Niger Republic, for more than a century, was in dalliance with France. I'm sure you mean was in alliance with France. And now it suits them to switch to Russia without Nigeria ever being bothered. Why should military dictatorship up north use Nigeria to excuse themselves for failing woefully in governance and economic management? Interesting. This one here says, I like the way this your guest speaks. He sounds like a leader of liberation movement or a Luther non-conformist union. Laddie from Ikorodu. Very funny, Laddie. Okay, this one here says, I'm having a little connection issue here also. Okay, someone here says, we need to be good neighbors to those who are around us, especially Niger and Chad. Niger may not come to the table due to the impasse between us. Let us tighten our borders. Every nation needs her nation to survive. This is from Ayo. This one says, good afternoon, Marianne. Niger's suspicion arose from Nigeria's inability to control terrorism over the years. Chima from Surulere. Thank you very much for your message. I appreciate it. I'm going to come back to the phone lines and take your thoughts. Unfortunately, my guest has dropped off the Zoom meeting. Hopefully, we can get him back. Hello.
Hello, Marianne Duke Okon.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Emeka is my name from Satellite Town.
Go ahead.
You see, you are doing a wonderful job. For me, I think this is the way to go. The olive branch being extended to the junta is the way to go. Because in international politics, there's nothing like permanent enemy or permanent interest. Currently, we have a hydra-headed monster to deal with. These mutants, these mutations, like your guest called and said they've been there, but a new name. So this terrorist group are a threat, not just to Nigeria, but also to Niger. And if you think about it, if you go to those states bordering on Niger, you will not be able to tell who is a Nigerian or who is a Nigerian. So going to fight them or taking a stand with the Western powers like France wouldn't have been in our own interest. Would have lost that war, just like what Russia is doing in Ukraine. It would be a very difficult war to fight. But if we could join forces together, there's the possibility of us defeating these terrorist groups. But if we decide to let's think about it, even if we call them military junta, upon when they took over power, the people of Niger did not complain. They were very happy because they saw it as a form of liberation from neocolonialism or imperialism of France. So let's try to join forces with our neighbors and fight these terrorist organizations rather than taking a stand against them. That is my own opinion.
All right. Well, I'm guessing that Nigeria is taking the lead on that because I read out Yusuf Tugar's message. It sounded more like, hey, come, let's reason together. Let's see how we can fight this thing together. Maybe if we join forces, we'd probably know how to deal with it. But is Niger really ready to come to the table? Adebaba here on YouTube Live is saying, seems the man is saying that these countries are liberating themselves from Fulanis. He also made mention of the fact that even here in Nigeria, in the northern part of the country, the Fulanis who are tinier in number seem to be usurping all of the powers, and the houses seem to be at their mercy. But I really wish that we were able to get back to that part of the conversation. Let's see if I can get my guest back to shed more light on the Fulani perspective, because that of course is fueling a lot of questions. We have Mr. Onunuju back here. Dr. Katch, there are questions about your Fulani statement earlier on. Someone is asking on our YouTube Live. By the way, we're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We're live on Facebook, so post your comments and your questions. Someone is saying that it seems like you're insinuating that some of these countries that border us are liberating themselves from Fulanis. Is that the case? Because you also mentioned the fact that more and more houses are at the mercy of these Fulanis who seem to be usurping all the powers. Is that what you mean?
Well, that is the truth. But what question I also asked people in London last year is, well, no matter what you call these wars, why are the Fulanis the ones being recruited across West Africa to actually do this war on behalf of European interests? Because some people told me that these wars are machinated from Europe. I said, good. If they are plotted from Europe, why are the Fulani militias the ones recruited to do this? Why are they the ones fighting against the Susu and the Mandinka in the Gambia? Why are the ones killing houses in places like Basari, Dutsima, Kankara, and Musa? Even places as bad as Ngobe, Densedew, Bungudu. Why are they the ones fighting against the TV on the Benue Basin? Why are they the ones killing the Kaka and the Panther on the Mambila Plains? Why are the Fulanis the ones killing Nigerians all over, and yet others will say these are plots instigated from Europe? So why are the Fulanis the one levying war across West Africa? And this is what I have said several times. Why are they the one being used by Europe to destabilize the Sahel? This is the question we must ask ourselves. Because if you're telling me you're doing a Fulani jihad in 2023, 2024, 2022, how? What kind of jihad would you be embarking on? If not that you're working on behalf of foreign powers to destabilize the region. Why are the Fulani militias the people employed to do this war across the Sahel? This is a question everybody in West Africa must ask themselves.
Okay.
Why are the Fulanis the ones employed by whoever plots these wars to become the militiamen destabilizing the Sahel?
I have just 1 minute before we wrap up because our time is fast spent. But I also want to ask you, why are these so-called European countries that you are making mention of are saying, because you're saying that you're insinuating that they're the ones who are fueling these wars across the Sahel? How come they're the same people who are also coming back to say, we're going to help you to win this war against terrorism? How does that even work? In 1 minute, help me answer that, because you can't say that these are the people who are fueling the war, but they're also the ones who are coming to say, we want to help you win the war.
Because they have been the ones who have been here for 400 years. So ask yourself that question. These are just strategies to undermine us. Why are they the ones who are always coming to say they want to help us fight terrorism? They put soldiers here, and then what do we see? Escalation terrorism. Why are they the ones also telling us that Africans are killing Africans? Why are they the ones recruiting the Fulanis? As I said, why are the Fulanis the people employed across the West Africa to do this war against us, Bantu stock, dark-skinned people? Why?
I will bring you back, Dr. Katch, because we need to talk about this so-called Fulani jihad that you've made mention of. Hopefully, we can bring you back sometime soon. Let's talk about the history of this so-called jihad and what you think is their target or their goal. But I want to say thank you because our time is fast spent, and apologies. I know your connection has been on and off, but thank you so much for coming on the show to give us some background on this conversation. Doctor, thank you so much once again. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on with your audience. I will be available whenever you simply tongue desire.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Katch Onunuju there speaking with us. He's the Director General of the Heritage Center, speaking to us about some geopolitics and, stimulating our minds. We'll bring him back sometime soon. And that's it on Global Review. When we come back on the other side of the clock, we're setting the agenda for security in Nigeria. And we might just ask my guests this question. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's